this gets us to job roles, people, performance, and compensation. I mean, compensation factors in both from the business side of it. Like I can't afford to pay more money, than what the job is worth. But also from the if I'm looking for that job, I need to be paid to go do that job. We're going to dive a lot further into the details of job roles and kind of taking them apart into the basic components of what are the key results you're expecting, what are the lead measures, what are the really critical tasks, supporting tasks, what are the behavioral boundaries. We'll dive into that. But on compensation, just want to point this piece out, and is that there's a basic trade, and we're trading. If I'm a business, I'm trading a certain amount of compensation for consistent key results coming in from out of this job role for this group of related tasks. That's ultimately what the trade is. And so it's really important to look at four factors in that. One, the broader market ultimately sets compensation for a person and their range of capabilities. It's not what any one contractor has. If there's 10 people that are qualified to go do a job and there's only one job available, the price goes down. If there's 10 jobs available and there's 8 people that are qualified to go do that job, the price goes way, way up. It's just that simple. It's supply and demand. Not all capabilities that are required for a job role are valued equally in the market. And compensation must be tied to the most valuable of those capabilities. Like I came up through the field, so I am very capable of being an electrician. So I'm capable of running conduit. I'm capable of digging some ditches. But then there's other things that I do that are more valuable, and they're just more valuable in the market. My compensation can't. Let's say my job is half project manager and half electrician. I have to be paid as a project manager. I can't be paid as an electrician. That's how that comes together. So number 3, nobody's really likely to work too long, more than 20% outside of their market value, either too high or too low. If I am paid too much, I'll stay working for you forever if I'm paid too much. However, it won't be viable for you. And sooner or later, you're going to have to come to me and have this little discussion. On the other hand, if I didn't know any better and I came up through the ranks and everything like that, and I didn't know where I ranked in the market, and you're paying me 20% below market, sooner or later I'm going to find out. So and that's the reality of it. So realistically, you got there's a range that's there, and it's probably maybe it's 15%, maybe it's 25%, but whatever, it's there. And then number 4, and this is what's really important, this kind of ties back to that what we just talked about, is that some combinations of strategic choices and business models can pay dramatically more for the same exact capabilities and still be very, very viable as a business model. So the contractors that have made those choices really well, they have an undeniable advantage in the talent market because they can quite simply pay more. And so you've got to take all 4 of these into account. We're going to dive further into this, but this is just a foundation. Sue, anything to add to this or change? Or
no, I think number 3, most people go, well, yeah, of course, if you're paid 20% under, you're going to leave. I did like the point that you made that if somebody's getting paid 20% more than what the value of that job is, yeah, there will be an uncomfortable conversation. So to me, it's always, if you're paying somebody far under market, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Paying them way over, again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It has to be something that continues to make your organization viable, because it does just blow up everything else inside. I think if you're really compensation, I am one of those true believers that if you are very, very proud of what you pay, then post it on the front door. And if somebody complains about this person making more than you, then it's called, go do that work and you'll get paid that as well. So, viability is different for every company, but yeah, just be honest about what you're doing and lean into it and realize the market will adjust for you if you don't.
Yeah. And I think that what you just said is a great progression that a company needs to get into. I've never seen, I mean, I understand how you can get there, and I've been in that position where sometimes you won this project or whatever, you have this work and you absolutely need this person and you're being held hostage, so now you end up paying 20 or 30% more than say market value for a resource just because you need the resource, because that's cheaper than not having the resource. But now you have these things that are totally out of alignment inside your
Mhm.
organization, which is then you're like, okay, let's hide compensation from everybody. That it totally doesn't work. I mean,
Right.
everybody talks. Oh, and by the way, in the absence of information, I've never heard anybody guess somebody else's compensation and have it be anywhere close to right or better than right, if that makes sense, for whatever decision they wanted to make. So if I don't like you, I'm going to assume that you're making more than me,
Yeah.
and that's it for the same amount of work. And so even if I don't know, even if you're getting paid less, so it yeah, this is tough. We'll cover compensation in much more detail in the future, but these are the basics of compensation and trading it for a role. So it's a it's a really critical piece of your business model.